Beal asks, why are Saudi Arabia and Turkey rivals? And does the meeting between Turkey, Iran, and Russia reflect a new alliance?
Okay, I'll answer the second question first. It's easier. No. The meeting between Russia, Turkey, and Iran is not new. It's a continuation of what's called the Astana process. The Astana process goes back to 2017 and 2018 when there were negotiations going on to try to drop tensions in the war in Syria. So there were these negotiations going on in Astana, in Kazakhstan. That's why it's called the Astana process. And the countries that were present were Iran, Russia, Turkey, and Syria. The West was not invited. And of course, Turkey is militarily occupying a huge chunk of northern Syria, including areas where there are a lot of far-right Salafi jihadist extremists that are rebranded Al-Qaeda, which is called Hayat Tahrir Sham, HTS. And they operate basically closely with the Turkish military. And then, of course, the U.S. military is occupying the northeastern part of Syria. And that's where the oil-rich regions are and the wheat-rich regions are. And Donald Trump, infamously said, we're keeping our troops to take the oil. So the U.S. is still there. And basically, it's all those three countries want to kick the U.S. out, even though Turkey is still militarily occupying the northwest of Syria. And even though Iran wants Turkey to leave, Iran, Turkey, and Russia all want the U.S. to leave. So even though they have disagreements, they are unified and wanting the U.S. to leave Syria. So what Turkey is doing is what Turkey always does. It plays the West against the East. So Erdogan, he just went to the NATO summit in Madrid, where he signed this agreement allowing Sweden and Finland to join NATO. Of course, Finland borders Russia. Also, Turkey has been selling weapons and drones to Ukraine. Turkey has very good relations with Ukraine, but Turkey also has good relations with Russia. So Turkey tries to constantly maintain good relations with Russia and China and good relations with the West. It's a member of NATO, but it's also buying Russian military equipment. So Erdogan also, like MBS, he fancies himself, like this major leader on the world stage. He wants to improve Turkey's global standing. He basically wants to bring back the Ottoman Empire. So that's basically what he's trying to do. And also, Turkey and Iran don't have very bad relations. They're not like close allies. In fact, if you look at the readout published by the office of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, I did a video and podcast about this meeting between Putin, the Iranian leadership, and Erdogan in Tehran. If you read their readout, the diplomatic readout, Iran is actually quite critical of Turkey's policy in Syria, and they basically call for Turkey to leave Syria. But the reality is that Turkey and Iran are close. They're close geographically. They're both countries with a kind of similar shared history with, certain cultural identities in common. They have economic relations, including Iran is a major exporter of oil and gas. Iran has the second largest gas reserves in the world. It has one of the top 10 oil reserves in the world. So Turkey's just, playing different sides for what's best for its interests. Now, why do Turkey and Saudi Arabia have such negative relations? Well, because they're rivals in regional politics, right? So if you think about regional politics, countries will often they'll have very negative relations with their neighbors, and they'll have better relations with countries in the other part of the planet because a country on the other side of the planet isn't going to threaten their interest directly. So in Latin America, there are rivalries between Venezuela and Colombia, but ironically, China has very good relations with both Venezuela and Colombia, even though Venezuela and Colombia hate each other. Another example is Chile. So Chile even had a right-wing government until recently, but China still had good relations with Chile. And even though Chile had this conflict with Argentina, which has like a left-leaning government. Anyway, the point is that in certain regional contexts, neighbors will often be fighting because they have different competing interests, border issues. So in the context of West Asia, if you look at Turkey and Saudi Arabia, these are two major countries in the Muslim majority world, and they both see themselves as basically the leader of the Islamic world. Saudi Arabia is the main hub for Muslims around the world. They go there for Hajj, which is mandatory pilgrimage. It's one of the 5 pillars in Islam. So it has Mecca and Medina. and it fancies itself the leader of the Islamic world. Turkey, also a mostly almost entirely Muslim country. Turkey has also an important position in the Muslim majority world, and Erdogan wants to supplant Saudi Arabia. He sees himself as basically like the leader of the Muslim world, and he has a different kind of Islamic orientation, which is the Muslim Brotherhood. Erdogan's party is the AKP, which is affiliated with the Muslim Brotherhood. And of course, Saudi Arabia sees the Muslim Brotherhood as a major threat and preaches Wahhabism. So that's why there's that conflict between them.